The Canadian
Hello, everyone, and welcome to 2025 CNPL Draft. I'm your host, Andrew Gorman. I'm also joined by my co-host, Victor Chan. How's it going, Vic?
Oh yeah, we're doing good. Excited to be here.
Yeah, if you are noticing some issues with our stream today, there is a massive ice storm going on right now, so it has been affecting the internet. So if we start to glitch out a little bit, that's what's the cause right now. So hang in with us, and we'll get right to it.
Yeah,
So,
I
Vic,
just
there's been some awesome players turning out for the showdowns who are looking to get drafted this year. Just to name a few, like we have returning players like Brad Chapman, Kim Layton. Out of the East, we got like Mark Gottfried, Carolina Hack is back, Christina Chin, and then a bunch of new faces as well. Some from the U.S., some now that it's been opened up to under 18. We got a bunch of young players trying their hand at it too. How's it looking so far?
yeah, it's looking really well right now. Especially we have so many international players and some young guns that will be coming in. You'll be bringing some new dynamic to our new team sport. So it will be definitely fun, and we'll see some of the team owners if they want to bet on those new players, or they want to go play safe.
Exactly. Yeah. And speaking of owners, we have quite a few new ones this year. Just to list off some of our brand new teams this year, we have the Northern Lights Pickleball Club, which just announced their logo a couple of days ago. We have the Detroit Windsor Drive, which is our first kind of cross-border team, and then we also have the London Smash. All three of these teams, new owners coming in, brand new logos. The London Smash was the only team to re-sign players, signing Jessica Kawamoto and Ryan Torrenson, of course, one of the best doubles teams that the league had last year. So and then the Northern Lights and Drive got the second and third overall pick this year. So it's going to be super interesting to see how this goes.
Definitely, and it's going to be also interesting with the new teams. Well, we have to keep that in mind. Now we only have two West teams, and then the remaining teams will be at the East. So we'll see if some of the East team want to also pick some West player, or they want to just stick with the Eastern side of the things.
Yeah, from the I for those of you who don't know, I attended the Western Showdown in Vernon last weekend, and talking to some of the people scouting and some of the showrunners and stuff. It looks like everyone's looking for just best player available this year. We know last year a couple of teams kind of went with, okay, we're going to pick everyone kind of local or stuff like that. And for some teams it worked out, for other teams it didn't. Like Montreal Lions are a good example of what worked. Everyone was like from roughly around the same area, were able to practice together, and of course they came away with the championship last year. And then you had some other teams that kind of did the same thing, and the results weren't quite there. So I got a feeling you might see a little bit of both this year. Some teams maybe sticking with what worked last year, and then other teams saying, okay, you know what? If if for example, if I'm the West team and Christina Chin's available, I'm grabbing Christina Chin even though she's in the Toronto area, right? Like that's kind of going to be the interesting thing, especially with these first couple of picks coming up, because like Christina Chin wasn't signed, Kim Layton wasn't signed, Brad Chapman, Joel Pelche, Mark Gottfried, all these like high level players that were all re-signed last year aren't signed this time. So there's a big slew of free agents, and then also we have some really big newcomers coming in who made huge impacts, especially at those showdowns. I know in the West we had quite a few, especially young male players on the West side, and then on the East ones as well. There were some very good females that came in as well. So they might have caught the eye of some of the owners, and you might see them be like some surprise first round picks.
Yeah, definitely. On my end of things, it's gonna be interesting to see if the first couple of the picks gonna be female or the male first, right? Because we if we go by history, if you have a pretty strong female team, you'll probably w- you'll have a bigger advantage compared to the male, because I'm not saying the male the male players are not good at all. I'm just saying like the gap of skills for the males is actually closer than the female. So that therefore, if you're able to pick a strong female right off the bat, you're putting yourself in a little bit ahead of the in the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Like so, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where that first pick goes. I think my money would be on and just going with what we know for returning pros would be like Christina Chin or Kim Layton. Now, a little tidbit, we do know that Kim Layton is going to miss the first event. I'm pretty sure her daughter is graduating this year, so congrats to Kim and her daughter.
Mm,
But that also might have an effect on whether or not she gets picked in those like that first couple of spots. Now, mind you,
mm,
like between Kim and Christine, they're after those two, because the other two really big name females are already signed, like with Amanda Rosati and Jessica Kawamoto, right? So after those
yeah.
four, it's not a massive dip, but there is some significance there with at least for the returning pros and the more known talents, at least on
Hmm.
both sides. Like we said, there's some U.S. players coming in. There's some under 18 players coming in that, like I said, might have caught the eye. Then all of a sudden, you watch a couple of events, and all of a sudden, yeah, this is by far the best female in Canada type of thing, right? So I'm looking forward to that. And then yeah, like on the men's side. Um, the men are very like all super tight knit together, like, and with the ones that are already re-signed with Ernesto LC and in Montreal, and then of course Mark Clemenson on the Brewers. Those are three big powerhouses already off the board, but then you still have like a Joel Pelche, a Brad Chapman, a Mark Gottfried. Oh, no, oh, sorry. Also, Matthew Kawamoto signed with the Toronto
Yeah.
United team, right? So it's,
Hmm.
and then after that, everyone, it's like, hey, any of them on a good day can take the other one out, right? So it's all of who is on fire that
Hmm.
particular event. So it's I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome this year.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, especially with the amount of pool players this year, right? Because they have a newer format for the draft. You used to be just putting their names, but this year they actually have a team event, which a lot of different player, even as maybe some of the lower level player able also to come in and play. So actually, that's a very interesting format that they come in, and so far I would say that has been pretty successful.
Absolutely, yeah, and that was part and parcel due to the minor league pickleball Canada coming in and now becoming the pathway to the pros here for the CNPL. So those showdowns adopted the minor league format where you have like Super 22 levels, Super 20 levels, 18, 16, 14. And for those of you who aren't aware what that is, that's the team's combined Duper score and put you into that category. So, for example, like my team that I took to Vernon, we were in the Duper 20 category, whereas like a team that had like Brad Chapman, Kim Layton, Chris Lane, another returning pro, Anna Deshenko, who is a pro player but hasn't played in the CNPL yet, who might also get some good looks this year. Um, they were obviously in the duper 22 just because they're all like a duper 5.5 or higher type of thing, right? So it was
Hmm.
good because it allowed good competition across teams that might not have as many strong players, but then also allowed the stack teams to play against there. Because I know for a fact there was a couple teams in the duper 20, especially in the Ontario showcase one in London. There was quite a few players in that duper 20 category that caught the eye of some of the coaches. So, and then same thing for the Duper 20 in Vernon. We had like for example, returning pros Brett Forsyth and Joe Williamson. Eugene Ma was in the Duper 20 with their teams, right? So just
Hmm.
because you were in the Duper 20 doesn't mean you weren't getting looked at because you were playing against high level competition regardless.
Oh yeah, definitely. And for people that's thinking to like they missed all the action and they want to probably get their name in for next year. Well, play at that minor league pickleball. There will be many other opportunity to play. So I think there is one already this weekend. I think in Vancouver, and then the weekend like 2 weekends after it's gonna be in Edmonton, and then there's another one I think out east in High Sport, Vaughn, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, the one you're talking about for this coming weekend is in Burnaby at IHOP, and that one is already sold out. I just saw their Instagram page, so you won't be able to get into that one. I know the one in Edmonton at the Egg Pickleball Center in 2 weeks' time is still looking for a couple of teams in the lower duper categories. I think we have 5 or 6 teams already in the duper 20 category. Me and Vic
Yeah.
are in a team for that one, so that'll be fun playing against some of these high level players.
Oh yeah.
But no, yeah, just
Yep.
the fact that just watching the growth from year one of this league to year two to year three now. Year three now, we got all these great new owners. We have returning great owners like Toronto United team. If you haven't gone to their YouTube channel, go check their Beyond the Kitchen video. They're showing behind the scenes footage of them running the team. So it was them at the London showdown, and you see them talking to other GMs, talking to other owners, looking at players and stuff like that. Ricky and Andrew did a really good job and their team did a really good job putting that together. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, nice.
Just to kind of see the behind the scenes of what the owners and the managers are going through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely fun. Fun is a different dynamic when it's a team format, right? Because you have everyone hyped up. You have your owner supporting you, so it's definitely a different game, I will say, than your usual kind of competition. So that definitely it brings a new dynamic to the sport, and especially we need something that's gonna grow the pickleball in Canada.
Absolutely.
So we did hit that time now. We're just waiting to see if there's teams starting to pick. So we know the first round's gonna be so a couple of teams won't actually pick for first round. So Toronto United, London Smash, the Southwestern Brewers, and the Montreal Lions won't be picking on their first and second round. Toronto United actually will pick on the second round, and London Smash and the Southwest Brewer will start picking on round three, and London and Montreal Lions, sorry, will be picking on round four because of their return signed players. So that will be interesting how they're gonna manage that and see how much players left also.
Exactly, right. So that's where it comes down to for round one here, where you have the Rush picking first, the Northern Lights, the Drive, and then the Pronghorns picking. So they're gonna all three of those teams, or the first three teams at least, the Rush, the Northern Lights, and the Drive are gonna get two picks before the Toronto United team gets their first pick, and three picks before you see the London Smash and the Brewers pick, and then the Pronghorns will also get two picks in there as well, right? So it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
really, like we said, really interesting to see who goes first. Um, and we'll see kind of from that first pick what the teams are looking for. Like we said, whether they're going to go female first, and like we said, just out of known players returning, probably like Christina Chan, Kim Layton, possibly going first, or if they're going male first, like we said, Brad Chapman, Joel Peltier, Mark Gottfried. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you can go down the list, Chris Elaine, like all those return players, and then also all the new players coming in, right? I know this year in the draft, because we opened it up to international players, we have, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 American players in the draft this year. So it'll be really interesting to see how well of an impression those players made coming up to the showdowns. Um, of course, with the U.S. having such a higher population than Canada, they have the opportunity to play in a lot more events than what we do up here in Canada. So, were they playing at those really high levels, or when they came up to Canada, did they falter a little bit? Well, it'll be interesting to see if they caught the eye of the coaches and how many teams will have an international team. So, for those of you listening at home, each team can have one international player on the team. So, 8 teams, there's 10 US players. You could have 8 out of 10 of those US players who tried out on a team this year. So that's really, really intriguing. And then, of
Mm-hmm.
course, with the opening up to some of the underage players, I know, especially in Vernon, we had at least two players under the age of not just 18, but under the age of like 16, 17
Yeah.
playing, and they performed insanely well, all playing in that Duper 22 category. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be really interesting to see if they made enough impression to get picked. Oh, here's Mike now. Okay, let's cut
Yeah.
to Mike here.
Yes. Let's get it to Mike.
All right, folks, we're ready to go. And with the first overall pick in the CNPL draft, the Vancouver Rush select Christina Chin.
Oh, I kind of predict it's gonna be either Kim Layton or Christina Chin, but I have a feeling it's gonna be Christina. I'm sorry, I'm biased because I know Christina that very very well, and been following her quite a bit. If you're following her also on Instagram, Pickleball on Ice, she's putting a lot of content. But she had been playing quite a bit. She has playing on CPA, some on some PPA. Actually, she's playing on the APP this week at Fort Lauderdale with Ernesto. So, congrats to her to get picked.
And I've got to give it to Victor here. He did make this prediction before the show.
Yeah, let's go.
I knew I should have put money on that when I was talking with you and Vernon, mate.
So
Yeah,
what do you feel? What do you feel also, Andrew?
Yeah, that's definitely a like we said, almost especially if you're picking late women's first, a no-brainer with that one. Christina, like last year at Nationals, triple crowned. So women's singles, mixed doubles, women's doubles, she won all of it. CPA last year, getting what was it? I think silver and so at least silver in at least two categories last year at the CPA as well. And when she's gone down to the States, she has played very well down there as well. Not just getting like when some of our Canadians go down getting knocked out in the first round, she's moved up a couple rounds every time she's gone down to either a PPA or like an APP event. So she's down there playing with Ernesto right now. That's a really good matchup. Now they won't be playing together in the CNPL, of course, because Ernesto's already on the Lions. But that's a really good team. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go a couple rounds down there in that APP tournament. But yeah, congrats, Christina. Great pick by the Vancouver Rush. Yeah, like we said, these first three picks, it's going to be really hard to pick wrong. And I don't even think you can really pick wrong, even if you go with someone who me and Victor might think is off the books, because of course you won't know until we get into actual games. But yeah, definitely a big pick. Also, another fun fact about Christina, for those of you who may not have been following her on Instagram, was voted or was in the running for Influencer of the Year on the Dink podcast. And here's Mike back with the second pick now. Let's go.
Yes.
With the second overall pick, the Northern Lights select Lucas Wong.
Oh, great pick. Great pick there. And if I was going to pick a name that we weren't all familiar with, Lucas would have been a big one with that. He played at the London Smash Showdown. And from what I heard from talking to people when I was at the Vernon Showdown, performed insanely well. And actually, if you want a good clip of what Lucas looks like, where we were talking about the Toronto United Beyond the Kitchen episode, he actually has an interview in there with Ricky. But very, very good player. Performed very well at that London Showdown. So that does not surprise me at all that he got picked.
Is Lucas part of the high sport team? Do you remember?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I would need a current pitcher, but I know he's been playing. He's been playing in that kind of like Greater Toronto area tournaments and stuff, and apparently has been playing like insanely well. I think there was a couple people who even said they thought he could have tried out last year, and he and maybe himself thought wasn't quite ready, but this year he was like in that interview with Ricky on that episode was like looking to push himself further and going ahead. So great pick by the Northern Lights team. And it's going to be interesting to see who they pick next to team up with him. So so we got the drive coming up next, and I can't wait to see if they're going same thing like we were talking about, male or female to start. But yeah. So I'm trying to pull up Lucas's thing.
Yeah, I just look at Lucas Duper he's at 5.9, and most of his Duper games is in tournaments, so which is pretty accurate. And he did play with Mark Clemenson last time in the High Sport Tour stop in Dunham, which I think they have won goal in that category. So we can definitely see. And if you go on his super, he did beat quite a bit good players in there, like Johannes, Kyle Hermits. They did some pretty good wins in there. And Mike is back. We'll hand over to him.
Back for the third pick. Another new team for us, the Detroit Windsor Drive select Wes Gabrielson.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh, that's a US player. So that's a great pick there. Yeah. So I'm trying to so out of Oregon in the United States. So I wouldn't be surprised, especially with that Detroit Windsor thing, if they have gotten to see probably him at maybe some of the some U.S. tournaments and stuff with the owners being out of the Detroit area. So seeing a little bit more of those U.S. players. That's the one advantage that Detroit team's going to have is if they've been going to a bunch of U.S. tournaments, they've seen some of these players who have they might have seen some of these players who have applied and have come up. So that's another
Definitely.
great pick. So another male first. It's going to be interesting to see who's coming up next then, because up next we got the Pronghorns with the 4th overall pick. So the Pronghorns last year kept three of their players last year. So this year they're starting off fresh. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And of course they're with the new owner this year. So I'm going to be interesting to see which way they're leaning with their next pick. But yeah, so congratulations to Wesley, and of course congratulations to Lucas Wong earlier with the 2nd and 3rd overall picks. It's going to be
Definitely.
really fun watching these guys this year.
Yep, definitely. We're going back to Mike again. We have another pick.
So with our final pick of the first round, the Prairie Pronghorns select Brad Chapman.
Good pick.
Well, I'm not surprised.
No, not surprised
You know
either.
what? I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, so Brad, even though he wasn't re-signed, is returning to the Pronghorns this year. Like we said, new ownership, but I would have been really surprised if Brad fell anything shorter than like 2nd round in this. Like, and then we're talking 2nd round because some of the teams obviously have re-signed players. But Brad Chapman, for those of you who don't know, multi-time national champion in both men's, women's. I know he won singles in men's at the CPA last year. Also, and he's from Alberta, which me and Victor are from. For those of you who weren't aware of that, basically, if Brad's in the tournament, he's either finishing 2nd or 1st. And the only people who you normally can sometimes top him is like Joel Pelche most of the time.
Yeah,
But Brad's
he's
a
one,
consistent winner.
and Brad's one of the most consistent player, right? And nothing can phase him out. Like this is a very good pick because that's the player that can't calm you down. Like, you're too much hype or something's going wrong. Brad, it's gonna be the guy is gonna be calming you down. So he has a very good calming effect on in the especially in the team environment. So definitely a very good pick. And he was actually on their team last year too.
Yeah. Yeah, so Brad returning to the Pronghorns. Like we said, under new leadership this year, so it'll be interesting to see who they pick in the 2nd round to team up with Brad. Whether and now that we're out of that 1st round, it's gonna be interesting to see are the Rush gonna pick another female to team with Christina Chin, or are they gonna go male and try to get that top mixed pairing to start? Vic, if it was you, what would you be kind of aiming for right now?
I will probably try to pair a male up with Christina to see.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you, Vic, because Mike is back for first pick of round
definitely.
2.
Here we go with the first pick of round 2. The Vancouver Rush select Anna Diachenko.
Oh, actually,
really good
I
pick.
was wrong.
I was really good pick.
Right. No, that's a great pick because if you're already locked in two of the highest ranked female as soon as possible, then your team is in good position.
Absolutely, and yeah, so and like I had said earlier in the broadcast, Anna is been playing at a pro level for a number of years now. Just hasn't been in the CNPL. But for those of you who want a little quick flashback, in the 2023 Nationals, she defeated Christina Chin in the finals for in singles. So very, very good singles player. And from what I've seen the last couple of tournaments that I've been at that she's been in, her doubles game has gotten insanely good. So with her and Christina there, and for those of you who don't know, Anna's also like 6'6'1", and she uses that wingspan to her advantage. Like very, very powerful strokes, very, very powerful shots, and she takes up space on the court. So it'll be really interesting to see with Christina Chin with her forehand roll, and then Anna with her forehand as well. That is gonna be a very deadly combo for their women's team. So great pick there by the Rush.
Yeah, definitely, because that's with Anna in there. I don't think anything can get past them. It's gonna be real tough to win against those two pairings. And obviously, I've seen Anna play with also Kim Layton at the latest NAPP tour, and they're playing insanely well and able to beat. Actually, they took gold on that NAPP tournament, and which there is quite a bit of US and also South America pro that was coming out and playing, and they able to defeat them pretty handily. I will say so. Definitely a very great pick, and that will be a very good pairing with Christina.
Absolutely, yeah. So Rush going right out the gate for a really strong women's team. I'm interested to see now what the Northern Lights are going to counter with, because they got the male lockdown. So let's see if they go like we were just about to talk about. Are they going to go female and go for a mixed pairing, or are they going to go for another male player and lock up a strong male team? So I'm
I
really
I
interested to
I
see what they
I
go
have a
with that.
I have a feeling they're gonna pick a male just to like lock another good male right off the bat, and then maybe we'll see who's gonna pick the other female afterwards. I have a feeling it's gonna be the next one's gonna be a male, and then female. That'll be my guess.
Okay, if it gets both of these guesses right, I'm calling hacks on this. And Mike is back with the second pick of round two. Take it away, Mike.
With the second pick in the second round, the Northern Lights select Joelle Peltier.
Ooh,
Good pick.
very good.
Very good pick. And that
That's
does
what
not surprise us at all.
I think that's what I was thinking. They would probably counter with another good male too, and that's definitely well. Joel has been known in the Western Canada, has been playing insanely well. He was pairing with Ava Weeks quite a bit during the CNPL season, and even at the provincials, and they have been playing very well. It is one of the power player in out west that you definitely want.
Absolutely, yeah. And also has been training a lot of new young players. At the Vernon Trout, his team basically consisted of a bunch of players that he had trained. So he's almost turning into like the Hart Foundation of Western Canada for pickleball. Is like his Joel Pelletier's Pickleball School of Hard Knocks or whatever is I guess we'll call it. But and those kids are really really good. And I'm saying kids because I'm old enough to be their dad for most of them. So this is why it's not a derogatory term to them.
No.
But no, yeah, Joel, great pick. Has been a powerhouse in the league for the past 2 years, so no surprise that he got picked. And no, that's another great pick by the Northern Lights. Okay, so Vix, okay, 1 for 1 with that. So you said male again is what your guess is for the drive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would say male, then female.
Okay,
See how
I'm
how
interested.
how how
I'm interested to see. So okay, so if you had no, we won't go name predictions because then we don't want
No,
just in
name
case.
prediction is a little bit tough
Yeah.
because
Well, yeah,
there's so many.
especially for the male predictions. The female, I have a possible inkling, but if you're correct in your assumption here, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. But so far, really great players. So we have one, two, three returning pros, and then three brand new players to the league. So right off the hop, kind of a nice mix bag of returning pros getting selected and these newcomers coming in. And we got one international player already so far. And like we
Mhm.
said, each team's allowed one international player this year, kind of like the Canadian Football League, where you're allowed so many American-born players type of deal. So, like I said, interesting to see which teams also select, and with each team being able to carry six players again this year. It's going to be interesting to see is okay, do certain players drop down because we still know they're going to be like a good guaranteed pick in like the fifth and sixth rounds type of deal, right? Because like for example, last year with Chris Allain going to the Toronto United with
Yeah,
like
that was
that
a steal. That
that
was
was
a
a steal.
steal.
That was a steal for them, right? Like, so it's going to be interesting to see if which pros kind of go down, but maybe that's because they know that they're still going to be available. But then you're kind of playing a game of chicken there. If you want a particular pro, but you're like, okay, I'll let them slide this time, but they might not be there the next time coming through, right? So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the
Yeah,
teams
and
go
and
about
and
this.
already I think some of the picks already kind of defeats a little bit the mentality of last year, right? Or some of the teams already picking like the best of, like you said, the best available player rather than actually picking the due to where they're living. But
Absolutely.
anyway, Mike is
And Mike
back,
is back.
so
All right, here we go.
With the third pick in the second round, the Detroit Windsor Drive select Jonas Dollar.
Nice pick. And
there we go. Two
Jonas
for
has been
two,
on a
man.
tear. Jonas has been on a tear lately in the tournaments he's been playing in. His and then for example in the showdown, his team won. He was teamed with Christina Chin, Jessica Kawamoto on that team as well. So Jonas has just been one of those players. Like he was in there the first year. It's kind of like that newer to pickleball, but as you've watched over the past 2 years and even this year, I've been seeing some of the highlights and just results from the tournaments he's been in. Just that constant, steady growth and just constantly improving, and also being what is he like 6'4"? uh,
Yeah, that's I was about to say how tall is Joe Jonas?
I want to say at least 6'4". I know when I stood beside him, I think I'm up to his shoulders or something like that, and I'm just under 6'1". So, but
Like he has a big wingspan, it's like big.
big
I'm
wingspan,
oh
excellent
man,
singles player, and he's been, like we said, getting just constantly improving his pro game in the men's doubles and the mixed doubles. So that's a great pick there. Joining Gabrielson on the drive. So and like I said, U.S. and kind of Toronto there, so they're close enough that you'll be able to like schedule like practices and stuff like that. So that's a nice pickup there.
yeah, definitely a very good pick. And Jonas is definitely going uphills with his skills and his results too. I'm actually seeing him has a very similar play style of Mark Clemenson, but from the left hand side versus on like Mark likes to play on the right, but Jonas obviously he plays on the left. He has a very similar style, like Mark being like a aggressive male on the left hand side. So which is very important, especially in the mixed double settings.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm going to be very interested to see. So now we're jumping to Toronto United for that next pick because they missed
I
that first one because they signed Matthew Kawamoto. So
I call female. So
you're calling
you
female,
know me.
going with a mixed partner
I call
format.
female. I already got my two male, and then I'm calling female this time.
Okay. Speaking of which, here's Mike with the pick.
With the fourth pick in the second round, Toronto United select Maximilian Wild.
Ooh,
Oh, interesting.
nice. That's a nice pick. Another player who performed insanely well at the showdowns in the East Side. Another one of those, like for me and Vic, not as super familiar with because of course we live on the West Coast, but just looking at the results and from the showdown and from if you want to do a quick like duper check or even on like the pickleball.com, check the results. Very, very strong player. Same thing if you look at previous years, been working their way up to that pro level and is just starting to catch on fire right now. So great pick there by the Toronto United team, and so they got their men locked down. So Vic, you're a little off on that one, but
Yeah, I was off, but but it was a good pick. So going on the Maximilian the duper, he actually has a very tight. He played a very tight match on singles. I need to highlight that he won one of his single main draw. He won 30-28. That was insane. Like
nice.
the because usually you win by 15. They went all the way for 30-28. This is amazing. And then on his last tournament play, it was on the Columbia PPA Challenger. He actually made it pretty far. So congrats to him, and congrats to him to be being picked.
Yep. And so yeah, so for those of us keeping square, so that is our second international player pick, Maximilian, coming out of California and the States. And and it was the Montreal Showdown he attended. I thought I recognized the name from when I was trying to keep track of all the showdowns going on. But so yeah, another international player coming from the States. So another great pick there by Toronto United. I'm going to be really interested to see how well he matches Matthew Kawamoto's intensity on the court, because Matt, like we said, Matt's almost like nonstop. All right, here's Mike again.
With the 5th pick in the second round, the Prairie Pronghorns select Kim Layton.
Why I'm not surprised?
The fact that Kim was available for the Pronghorn second pick, and her and Brad are regular partners in nationals, in anything to do with sport, anything to do with pickleball in Alberta. That's already a built-in chemistry. They're both from Calgary. They can train together as much as they want. That is a great pick by the Pronghorns. Yes, you were going to miss Kim the first event. But after that, that is an insanely strong duo. Always in the finals at events, if not winning events, majority of the time. So, and Kim, once again, another one of those players who's been a constant pro in Canada for years. Now, another really tall female player standing, I want to say the same thing, right? 6 foot, 6'1". And her and Brad's chemistry is like I said, they've been playing together for at least 4 years, at least 4 or 5 years at this point, right,
Yeah,
Vic?
as a minimum, and they've been playing insanely well and almost medaling at every event that they've been playing together. Is they have a very good kind of chemistry on each other. They know what their role is, so it's definitely a no-brainer that you want to partner those two together.
Absolutely. So yeah, so they got their mixed pair locked down now. So we have the mixed pair. We have the women's. So we're going to be back to the Rush now. So
I
now the
think the
Rush
Rush
have
needs to pick a male now.
yeah. So they got their starting women selected. So then they're going to be going with a male next. So it's going to be really interesting to see who they pick, because
There's still
going
quite a
just
good amount of male players still available. So we'll see
oh,
who they
absolutely.
want to pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said, like with 2 international players already picked, so we know that the Drive and that Toronto United won't be able to pick anyone else from for the international side, but that's still another 6 spots opened up for national player international players. Sorry, so it's
Mhm.
gonna be really interesting. Oh, and Mike is back. Let's see who the Rush have got.
With the first pick in the third round, the Vancouver Rush select Arman Jiwa Mauji.
I already had this guy in
Yeah.
my head. I almost like shoot pretty much like it's either him or or Michael McCaffrey. I was like just pretty sure it's gonna be him. Like
Yeah, and
and
Armand killed it at the Western Showdown. Him and Caleb Sampson. The only the only team they had that they lost to was Brad Chapman's team. So,
yeah,
he's of insanely athletic player. Him, especially when he plays mixed, is insanely
oh,
strong player. And if you want to follow him on Instagram right now, he's doing this. I think I want to say it's
road
like 6 or 7 months from 5.0 to 6.0 that he's doing. So
yeah, he's doing like
he's
a
pushing himself
road
to
to
go to
6.0.
6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It is insane. The progression that he made, and then if you saw him live, I did saw him live on the NEPP while I was refereeing him on the NEPP tour. Oh my God, like he is that like the quickness, the speed that he has on the court is unrivaled compared to other players. And then the way that he covers the court, oh my God, he's definitely a big
oh,
menace.
wrap it up,
Oh,
Vic. You got another pick now. Here's Mike.
With the second pick of the third round, the Northern Lights select Marie-Christine Salvis.
Nice pick there. I'm trying to
Another
remember
good pick.
which one she was in.
Montreal.
She's in
Montreal. Thanks,
Montreal.
Mike.
She's from
Yeah,
Montreal.
I was gonna say I know I saw her name in the top category somewhere. Yeah, so she was in the Montreal one. Great pick there by the Northern Lights group. One of those ones, same thing. Like me and Vic, not super familiar with because, of course, like we said, West Canada. But just looking at her duper, looking at the results from previous matches, and looking at her results at the Montreal one, played insanely well there. So she's going to be a great complement to Wong and I'm blanking now here. Wong and Joelle. Because like I said, Joelle is very, very. I'll be interested in seeing which one she teams up with, whether it's going to be Lucas or Joelle Pelletier. So I'm thinking maybe at least to start the first one. My guess is going to be Lucas, just because they're probably a little bit closer to be
It
able to
depends
meet up.
also what
And
will
Mike's
be their
back already.
second teaming pick.
We
Yep.
no time
Go
to
ahead.
rest. Here we go.
With the third pick in the third round, the Detroit Windsor Drive select Audrey Young.
Perfect. Great pick there as well. Okay, good. Yeah, that was the London Smash. That's where I thought. I'm trying to place names now where I was watching highlights or watching snippets of where they were playing. So yeah, Audrey was at the London Showdown, played really well there as well. Another Canadian from Ontario.
She's younger too. She's 22.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see that this year with a lot of like it's been funny I was talking to Mike and UEC Lau at the Vernon one, and the average age of players each year in the CNPL has been slowly working its way down. I think the first year it was actually above 40 because there was a couple of 50-year-olds playing it, and then last year I want to say it was like 35. I wouldn't be surprised after the draft is done if we're not sub 30, if we're sitting like right at the 30, 31 for age, because there's so many new young players coming in. Pickleball is just exploding here in Canada. With all the new facilities opening, players have so much more access to getting onto courts, getting games in and stuff like that. So I'm going to be very, very interested to see because, let's see. So we got Gabrielson and we have Jonas. So I wouldn't be surprised then if she does a bunch of training with Jonas, because Jonas is going to be right in her neck of the woods in Ontario. So, but so yeah, so they got their two males, they got a female locked up now. So it's gonna be interesting to see. So the drive probably going to select a female on their next pick as well and get those two starting spots lined up, and then it's gonna be interesting to see where everyone's going, like for alternates or for a rotational player who can sub in and out. Like for example, a team that did a really good job of rotating players in and out last year was the Brewers, especially with Kyle Hermetz and Gamond with on the men's side, just being able to rotate the two of them depending on what was needed for the match. And it's going to be really interesting to see if you go with players a very similar style of play, or if you see the team start picking, okay, this person's like more aggressive offensive, more driving, and then this person's more defensive. So it's going to be interesting to see if they rotate or have one of each, and then you can rotate as play calls for it. Because like for example, playing like the Montreal Lions last year, if you had more defensive set, especially on the men's side, you were able to sort of slow down Ernesto and LC a little bit. As much as you possibly could, because those two are almost an unstoppable force. But that's where we saw the Pronghorns have really last year when they had Michael McCaffrey and Brad Chapman playing together. That was actually one of the teams that gave the Lions a lot of trouble because they were just able to slow the game down to a snail's pace and take Ernesto and LC out of their game. So it's going to be interesting to see what now that we're getting closer to the full starting lineup for these teams, what the teams are play style is going to look like.
Yeah, definitely. And now we also want to see if what Toronto United is gonna do. Are they gonna pick another male, or are they gonna go for the female side right away just to secure all their starting females?
Yeah, because like we said, there's still a lot of strong male players left.
Yeah,
Still a lot of
I
strong
would.
still a lot of strong
Yeah.
females players left as well. And but we're starting to see now, like it, you can tell by me and Vic's reactions from some of the female picks that were, like we said, because we're in Western Canada, not as familiar with some of these players. But like I said, looking at the stats from like the Montreal Showdown or like the London Smash Showdown, these players are performing at a very, very high level, and so clearly caught
Mhm.
the eyes of a bunch of the owners. So it's no surprise that they're getting picked this high.
Yes, definitely, and which is a good thing because means it does not matter your past result at CNPL. If you have actually a very good show up on the showdown that happened couple weeks ago. There you go. The owners that definitely take getting caught in there.
Absolutely, yeah, and then also just how you've been performing, especially if the owners have been attending other tournaments and stuff. Like, even though the Northern Lights owners got announced a little bit late, Michael Chow has been running that APA, those
Yep.
APA events, so he's seeing a lot of these players multiple times before the CNPL showdowns ever happen. So he's got extra insight on some of those players who've been attending those events. Same thing with if anyone's for all the players who have like attended the high sports stuff or those the pro tournament going on in Quebec. Oh, Mike is back
Yep.
again. Let's see
EPA.
who the Toronto United have selected.
With the fourth pick of the third round and their second pick of the draft, Toronto United select Jada Bowie.
And Mike was telling me about her when I was talking to him in Vernon. Put on an insanely good performance at the London Showdown. Was I think she was playing in the Duper 20, but was playing amazing in that. So that's no surprise to me. That was one of those names that caught same thing caught my eye when I was going in and looking at the stats from the showdowns. So that's going to be a really interesting team up. I'm going to assume she's going to be playing with Matt and mixed.
That's
So
it.
it's going to be very,
That
very
would make
interesting.
that would make sense depending on who they're gonna pick as male afterwards. But assuming they probably want her to grow with Matt, definitely.
Absolutely, yeah. So Toronto United coming out strong with their first two picks. They're getting a Maximilian. I'm sorry, Max, if I'm saying that wrong. I'll ask you if we ever get to run into you. I'll ask you if you prefer Max or
Maximilian,
Maximilian.
wow, yeah, yeah.
Between yeah with yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see if they have her go with Max or go with Matt. So there's gonna be so many M's on that team now. Oh no, just wait for me to stutter for that when we're talking when we're talking about the games.
That's okay. I think they would forgive us, hopefully.
I'm hoping so. So yeah, so we got the pronghorns next. So I'm interested to see now they got their top mix pair lined up. So what are you thinking, Vic? Are they going female or are they going male for their next one?
Pronghorns? It's gonna be a tough guess. But I i- if I was the manager, I would probably pick a female.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike is already back,
Oh, there
so
he is. Okay, we'll
Mike
find
may
out
be
right
able to
away.
confirm that.
With the fifth pick of the third round, the Prairie Pronghorns go east and select Jordan Vinya.
Great
I
pick.
got it. I knew it was a female. There you go.
Great pick. Of course, Jordan playing in the league the last 2 years, playing insanely well, was one of the best players on the Vancouver Rush last year. So she's staying west, but she's going a little bit less west and going with the Pronghorns. Her and Kim Layton should make an insanely good women's team.
Definitely. She did play very well last year. Very athletic, very steady player. I actually loved that pick. It's gonna be a great compliment to Kim, right? I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken, right? Yeah, exactly. Big compliment to Kim's game. So that definitely a very very great pick. Um, we'll see if actually Brad will want to sometimes want to partner up with her just to like especially the first tournament where Kim's not going to be available. It's going to be interesting if Brad will partner up with her.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be well, yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see who the Pronghorns pick for their next male player then. So because you're going to assume that when Kim's back after the missing the first event, that it will be Brad and Kim and then Jordan and whoever they select for their next male one. So
Hmm.
and yeah, so well you then that way you know now. So if you're picked as the third female for the Pronghorns, you know you're getting playing time that first one. So there's a good chance there to make an insanely good impression in that
Hmm.
first event.
Exactly. Hmm. Definitely. And also that that third player matters, right? Because sometimes if you're seeing your primary pairing is not working, why don't you throw your third player in there just to stir up the pot, right? And then just change it up. And sometimes you get surprises, and we did see a couple of surprises during last year's. I think it was the one of the East during the East showdown in that did saw a couple of a backup player make some insanely good showing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, between like Tara DiGiuseppe last year and Sneha Iyer last year coming in as not necessarily the first two females, but then coming in and making massive impacts on their team, right? So there's a reason why you and me on the podcast have an award for that, right? So because it happens a lot more than people think. So
Oh
yeah, it's going
yeah,
to be very
definitely.
interesting to see what they go with next, and it's going to be up next is going to be the Smash's first pick in this draft because of course they re-signed Ryan Torrenson and Jessica Kawamoto. So Vic, prediction on female or male? Are they going to get a partner for Jessica first or a partner for Ryan first?
Tough to say. Like my guts want to say female, but my brains want to say it's gonna be a male. Just to secure the male pairing, because with Jessica we know Jessica is gonna be able to handle with whatever females that's gonna be pairing up with her. But on the male side, I know Ryan is has been pretty good, but he gonna need probably some help of a good steady male player, so they can be a good force in their team.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Ryan himself is a powerhouse, so it depends. Do you want to go two powerhouses where they're both just kind of attack, 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 kind of like how Montreal Lions are, or do you want to go with someone who's more stay at home, more like counterattack defensive that allows Ryan to take a little bit more of the court, but then is still there to finish off shots when Ryan creates chaos.
Definitely.
Right,
And
so it's
for
going to be very interesting. And speak of the devil,
Mi-
here is Mike to tell us
Eric
who
Mike.
they are picking.
Speak of the devil, here's the devil. With the sixth pick in the third round, their first pick of the draft, the London Smash select Preston Gordon.
Nice.
Nice pick. All right, going right off. Oh my
So
God.
he's another international player.
Okay, good, because that's what I thought I remember seeing when I was reading his name in the queue there. So yeah, so that's another international who definitely came up and just played amazing. Why can't I see his name?
Yeah, he just finished playing at the PPL Challenger also.
Oh, nice.
Not long ago, having a pretty good showing. If you look at his Stuper, he has 350 wins and 71 loss.
Wow,
That's impressive. That's impressive.
that's really impressive. Holy
I was
crap.
looking at that. I was like, that's impressive, man.
Yeah, that's really impressive. So yeah, he doesn't. So that'll good. That'll go with Ryan really well because neither of them like to lose. So,
Exactly.
oh man, yeah.
I was looking at that. I was like, oh, okay.
That's a great
So,
that's so yeah, that's a great pickup by the Smash there. So that's going to be I'm interested to see how dominant that male team looks in the first event this year. Oh, and Mike's
Oh,
back already with the
Mike's
next
back
pick.
already.
With the 7th pick in the 3rd round, the Southwest Ontario Brewers select Eugene Mack.
Oh yeah, that's a very good pick. Wow, I guess I'm also we're a little bit biased here because Eugene did play with what was great to playing with us during the CNPL playoff last year during that playoff, and then he was, and definitely he is one of the nicest player and one of the powerhouse in the league also, right? So if you're happen to also following his Instagram page, which is I am counting my calorie,
Yeah, that's
this is
correct.
how
Yeah.
and he's been teaching kind of nonstop at the Pacific Pickleball Center of Richmond, BC. And he is one of the main coach, and a lot of people has been praising him for his skill and from his pickleball insight.
Yeah, absolutely. A very intelligent player on the floor as well, like and deceptive. His the spins he can pull off in
Oh,
firefights.
oh my God.
Yeah, I had lots of problems with that when we played him last year. I didn't he was one of the few players I didn't get to play against in Vernon, but we did have just some fun rallies back and forth after the event was over. And yeah, insanely intelligent pickleball player, and like can go from being super defensive to attacking you like crazy at the blink of an eye. So I'm interested to see how him and Clemenson team up, because with Clemenson playing the right like he usually likes to do, and then Eugene on the left, if that's what they decide to go with, that's going to be a really fun team to watch.
Yeah, well, both of them are very crafty too, right? So it's gonna be a very interesting that dynamic that they have, and the way they're gonna play, I think they will surprise a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And
So yeah,
if people,
so that's the men's thing decided now for the Brewers. So I'm interested to see which female they're going to get to a team with Rosati here. That's going to be super interesting. And
yeah,
then
there's still quite a bit of good female there. So
oh, there is absolutely.
we'll see whatever is left, right? Then
Well, yeah, and we
now
say
obviously,
whatever's left, and it's still like an insanely stacked
yeah, there's
group of
so many
players
some.
who are still left. Like I would say, this is by far the most stacked draft pool we've
Mhm.
seen since the CNPL started. Like the first year, it was kind of like, okay, these are the players who kind of play open, play pro, like the ones everyone thinks about. The second year two, we had a few more surprises in there, but this year by far you can see that it's like, yeah, this is just an insanely deep pool. And like, there's been players who haven't been picked yet that I'm like, man, I would love to just go watch these players play or take a lesson from these players, right? Like, so this is just showing how deep this pool is this year of candidates to get drafted this year is insane. So I'm super interested to see. So yeah, so we got the rush coming up next. So
Yeah, obviously the Montreal Lions cannot pick yet, so they will pick on this round on the round four,
yeah,
but they'll be last, unfortunately.
That is the first time so far in the draft that we had somebody actually hit the timer. Good, we need to do that. I like it. I work.
but um, but yeah, so the Rush have got their two ladies locked up. They have Armand locked up. I'm interested to see. I wouldn't be surprised if for some people it's obviously going to be a male. I'm interested to see who they pick. I'm wondering if they go for some people it would be off the board, but if it's who I possibly think it is, it won't be off the board for those of us in Western Canada.
Yeah, definitely. And I might be a little bit biased. I have a feeling it's gonna be a youngster.
Yeah,
Just thinking,
or at least
just
a
think, just
younger person. I'm gonna say sub 30 definitely is my
mm,
guess.
yes, that's what we're actually thinking the same way,
Yeah.
and which will be good for the team definitely.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think I think the round four is important because that's where you want to lock in your main starters, right? So this is a very important round that the manager has to make the right decision, because if you're not making locking the right people, then you'll have a little bit of a difficulty trying to match the other teams.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, this one's definitely like for what you are thinking is you're going to be your at least for the first event your main starting four, and then I would even say round five is almost just as kind of technical because especially like for example like team like the Pronghorns where Kim Layton's gonna miss the first round. It's kind of like your first idea of who you're gonna pick of who's gonna be first up. And
Yeah,
here's Mike
Mike
with
is
the
back.
next one.
With the first pick of the fourth round, the Vancouver Rush select Ava Weeks.
Ooh,
Nice pick.
interesting. So we are both wrong. It's
We were
not
both
male.
well, we were wrong with the male idea, but right with the young.
That's true. That's true. That
Ava
is
Weeks, of
true.
course, was a rookie last year, and played insanely well, especially once she moved over to the now renamed team, but it was the West Coast Wolverines last year when she ended up playing with Joelle Pelletier. So very steady, very, very good defensively, excellent in mixed doubles, and from watching her in Vernon has upped her women's doubles game a lot. So that's a good pick. And that's going to be a good between Christina and Anna, and then with Ava right behind them. That's someone you can sub in if say if someone goes down with an injury, or if someone says or if they're just not feeling it that day.
Hmm.
That's a great sub in who can come in and not look a little bit out of step at all.
Yeah, definitely. She is definitely one of the big up and comer from last year, and she did play super well with Joelle Pelletier. So with Christina that has a very wealth knowledge of pickleball, definitely can help her and guide her to the next level.
Absolutely. So yeah, so we were a
So
little bit off with that. So didn't lock down their second male. I'm wondering if if they went with Ava because I maybe well because remember how we said we think they were going maybe a little bit off the board for some people. I'm
mhm.
wondering if they're confident enough that that person is going to fall to the next round or even to the round after that.
Yeah,
Well, actually, they're going to pick two males back to back. So yeah, so they're gonna or their next two picks would have to be males. So I'm interested to see if they were confident enough that the male that they have in mind was going to drop to the sixth round because
yeah,
maybe they have the
and
insight on that, right?
which is um not uncommon, right? Because we know most of the team wants to lock down the females first, right? So
Yeah.
I would say they just gonna have to wait till whatever male they can they can get.
Oh,
And
here's
Mike
Mike.
is back.
With the second pick of the fourth round, the Northern Lights select Danielle Boss.
Yeah, boss. Nice. That's another great pick.
Yes, indeed. Danielle Claus.
Trying to check showdown she was in now.
She's
I
in
remember
London.
seeing her name. I remember seeing
London.
her name.
She's from London.
London. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So yeah, another player who put on a great performance at the showdown, and also just if you once again if we look at their duper or we look at like I said pickleball.com, you see how well they've been playing.
Yes, indeed. Let me take a look. Give me a second. I've been having a little issue with my keyboard. I am sorry. Here we go. Oh, she's another. Well, she's young because everyone that's younger than 37 is young for me. Sorry, I'm starting to get old. Here we go. You can blame me. Anyway, yeah, Danielle Boss is she's actually 24 years old, so a fairly young player. Um, have a pretty decent showing on the GTA Open couple of months ago. She did actually play on the PPA tour, Masters, also at the 5.0 level, having a pretty good showing also over there. So she's definitely a pretty very decent female player.
Nice. So yeah, so now so the Northern Lights team have their two men and their two starting women locked up. So it's going to be interesting to see who they decide to pair with who. I'm because because I haven't seen either of the females play like in person or online. I've just been going by basically stats. I'm not 100% sure of their play style, so I'm interested to see which one will pair with Joelle and which one will pair with Lucas, right? So,
Yeah, it's
but
gonna be tough. I will say it will also depend on how they actually either play together or how they're gonna practice together, and see how it goes. It will be interesting to see on the one of the first CNPL tournament how they're gonna adjust, right?
absolutely. But it's all that's what I love about always the first event of the year. You see who kind of clicks right away, and then you see okay, it's there, but they need to weed out some of the chemistry stuff right off the hop, and then you see
Hmm.
teams flip flop on like their mixed pairings or vice or even which sides people start on. Because of course, for those of you tuning in, of course we're playing rally scoring, so you stay on the same side the whole time. Oh, here comes Mike.
Mike is back.
With the third pick in the fourth round, the Detroit Windsor Drive select Natalie Araya.
I was going to be very surprised if Natalie didn't get picked. Natalie has been played awesome last year, like one of the most improved players from start to the end of the season, and just became a powerhouse player by the end of the year. Also, a very, very nice person. She came up and said hi to me and Vic when we were at the championship
Yes.
event last weekend.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, played for the Wolverines last year, playing for the Drive this year. And she's gonna so yeah, and her and Jonas, of course, are super familiar with each other playing together. So that's going to be a. I wouldn't be surprised right off the hop if that's who you see playing together
Yeah,
for the Drive
exactly.
in the first event because they already play together a lot. They already I'm assuming trained together a decent amount. So so if I'm gonna put money on something now, it'd be Jonas and Natalie playing together in the first event for the Drive.
Definitely. They have a indeed pretty decent showing on the last couple event they have in the ARA tournaments. So I did watch a little bit on YouTube, and they have a pretty good chemistry. And based on on her performance last year, I'm not surprised she'll get picked again this year.
No, yeah, and like we said, like came in and you could see like the talent was there, but a little bit raw. But then as the season progressed, she just became stronger and stronger and stronger, and you can tell she hasn't let up at all. Just going off of looking at her some of her duper matches, looking at how she did at the showdowns. I'm
And
very interested to see how much stronger she is this year once the games start up.
we have the next pick for Toronto United.
With the fourth pick in the fourth round, returning to Toronto United, Sneha Iyer.
Not surprised at
Not
all.
surprised, not surprised either. Um, by the end of the by the end of the season last year, she had made a very great pairing with Matt Kawamoto. That was probably like once and like we said, and as we were just saying, um, talking about fifth round and sixth round players being very important. Was not one of the original starters for that team. Came in and took that starting spot and just excelled with it. Um,
Yes.
she played amazing last year. So and yeah, like we said, her and Matthew Kawamoto, especially once we got to like the last event and then the playoffs, played awesome together as a mixed pair. So I would not be surprised if she's pairing with Matt Kawamoto come the first event.
Definitely, because the Toronto United was struggling a little bit last year because of who was the player that couldn't make it from
Oh,
Toronto
Hannah
United?
Blatt, yeah, because they had technically re-signed Hannah Blatt, but then of course with her contract with MLP wasn't
Yeah,
able
and
to,
then
but
she,
because they didn't find that out until after the draft, they lost like a draft pick. Like they basically lost a draft pick out of it. Right.
yes.
So it's because they were basically going to run it back from the team that won the whole thing year one. But then of course when that happened, it throws off what you're planning to do, right? So they had to kind of dig down and find players where originally they weren't looking for players, right? So now that they've had the whole chance to start over, scout, it's going to be it's they've had such a better opportunity this year to pick who's going to work for them. And Mike is back for the Pronghorns.
With the 5th pick in the 4th round, the Prairie Pronghorns select Chris Elaine.
Ooh. Well, it's
That is a great
almost their
pick.
whole it's almost their whole team at at the Vernon Showdown.
Yep, the only
Almost.
one they didn't manage to get was Anna Dashenko, but yeah, so Chris so yeah, Chris Elaine, Kim Layton, Brad Chapman, that and then that all three of those players played together at the Western Showdown in Vernon. So um that's a great pick. And Chris does have experience playing with Jordan. The very first year at playing for the East Toronto Smash, they played a couple matches together. So um, that that's another great pick. Chris, this time you did not drop to the last pick, so I think people realized the errors of their ways from last draft. So that's a great pickup.
Oh yeah,
And Chris and Brad looked really really good together. Very very complimentary for
nice.
the for when they were playing together in Vernon. So that'll be a fun team to watch.
Definitely, yeah. Chris did keep is that steadily getting stronger and stronger. One of the players gotta get hype up the team also, and that's what why last year from Toronto United they actually stole a couple of critical wins is because of Chris Illing being able to sub in and then to hype up the team, and he is definitely a big asset in the team play, and you definitely want him to be in your team as much as we can.
Absolutely, yeah. So Pronghorns got their four locked up now. It's going to be interesting to see, like we said, who the Smash are going to go with now. So probably,
They
like we said,
probably
probably looking at a partner
female.
for Jess. So I'm interested to see who they're going to go with for this one.
Yeah, Mike, take away.
With the 6th pick in the 4th round, the London Smash select Serena Smith.
Nice pick.
Another good pick.
I think I saw her play
Lucas Wong's
somewhere.
partner.
Oh,
There we go. Okay, good. Thank you, Mike. I was gonna say I knew I saw her name somewhere. Yeah, so played with Lucas Wong at the showdown. So another really good pick. Played very, very well. Even just going off that like just the games from there, looked very impressive. That was another one of those names that kind of got tossed around as, hey, this person showed really well at this event. And of course, same thing. All these players at this point now, if you pull up their duper, you're going to see like massive wins, not necessarily high profile matches, but good matches against really really good players where they're performing at this at these high levels. So congrats to her. And so that's the Smash locked up, and of course she gets to play with Jessica Kawamoto. So
hmm.
so
Yeah.
if you had to pick
There you go.
a female partner to a pro player in Canada to take you under your wing a little bit, I can only foresee them playing insanely well together because Jessica, like as we pointed out last year, played with it didn't matter who she was playing with, she was basically always winning that women's match. So I'm interested to see how their games mesh together and how well they're gonna play. And Mike is back already. Here we go.
With the 7th pick in the 4th round, the Southwest Ontario Brewers select Tara DiGiuseppe.
Great pick.
Oh, I was wondering when she's gonna get picked.
Yeah.
Actually. because I
Oh
remember
yeah,
she did play
Tara came in and played amazing last year.
yeah, especially
Um,
during the playoff.
yeah,
She did a big showing doing the playoff and showed that she deserved to be in the league.
exactly. Yeah, and she played insanely well against the Brewers last year. So it's almost like that thing is like, well, we didn't like playing against you, so how about you play for us this time, right? So because yeah, one of the games where she really stood out was against the Brewers when they were playing. So that's a great pickup. Also very, very good when it comes down to those the singles time the singles
Yeah, the
spot
Dream
if the
Breaker.
teams are
Yeah,
time.
the
Yeah.
Dream Breaker. She stole so much point in there
Yeah, when
that I actually
I know the one match in that sudden death spot. Yeah, she stole so many points. So like, and you know she's only getting better. Like so her women's doubles and her mix she like paired with Jessica Kawamoto last year. So and they played very well. So I'm interested to see how well her and Rosati mix. That should be a very good women's pairing for sure.
should be pretty even. I will say it will be a very smooth transition
Yeah,
for them. I would not be surprised. They'll be a very steady woman team.
exactly right.
And then after that, we finally probably gonna get a pick from the Lions. So we have been neglecting them for a while.
Oh yeah, because they kept three returning players this year with Ernesto and Sophia and Luis Charles, right? Like bringing back almost the whole band back together from their win last year in the finals. So I'm interested to see. I'm assuming they're going to go with a female just to get that women's pairing locked up. Um,
I have a feeling that players start with a E. I have a feeling. I have a feeling it start with a E and the last name is gonna start with a L, something like that.
wow. Okay. Was I know you speak French, Vic, but were you like whispering something to someone over the phone, like to get this info? Like,
No, I'm just me, right? Like me being able to speak French and stuff like that. Sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes I can get some insight, maybe.
And it's also going to be interesting to see if they stick with their formula that worked for them last year, where everyone was roughly from the same area. And speaking of which, here's Mike to let us know.
Your timing to say that was just perfect. With the 8th pick of the 4th round and their first pick of the draft, the Montreal Lions select our first under 18 player, Stevie Petropoulos.
Oh, I was
Ooh,
wrong,
nice.
actually.
Oh, you were wrong there, Vic.
Yeah, I was badly wrong. I was really badly wrong. Terrible. Oh, so that's
And
another
he's out of
international.
Florida and he's out of Florida in the States, so another international player as well.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Let me pull it up. Let's take a look. Yeah, unfortunately, because they're not from West, it's a little difficult for us to sometimes to comment.
Well,
But yeah,
and also being from the States, but
yeah.
I'm going to
So
take a guess and say very impressive if they're playing if underage and playing high level pickleball already, especially in the States.
so he's actually 13. So yep,
Oh
and then
wow.
yeah, 13. So he is fairly young. He actually play at the PPA challenger. Well, sorry, it's not he. She is a she. I'm sorry, my bad. I have to apologize for that. Sorry, but yeah, she actually played at the PPA challenger. The not long just last week and have a pretty decent showing already, and she also plays on the some of the PPA qualifier tours already. So which means she is a very promising junior players that coming out of the ranks. So we definitely cannot sleep on her.
No, absolutely not. Well, and like we said, at 13 already. So like that's showing you how like so for those to put that in perspective for all of you, that's in between the ages of my two kids. I have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. So
Yes.
that's That's insane. So congrats to Stevie. I can't wait to see how well she plays in that. I'm interested to see which one she teams up with. I'm gonna take a guess and say Luis Charles, just because Anne
Yeah,
Sophie and Ernesto had such a good pairing last year. Um,
that's what I think too.
yeah, but yeah, that's gonna be really interesting to see. I'm excited to see how well she plays, and that just shows you also the mental maturity of her for being a 13-year-old, being able to hold their own at those high level events. Because sometimes that's one of the things you see with younger players is a lot easier flustered, where clearly performing that well already, clearly that's not an issue for this player.
Definitely. And I would say that player definitely probably make a very very good showing during the in their Montreal showdown that puts her in to be picked.
Absolutely. And also with some of our pros going down to these PPA events, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they caught the eye of some of our pros and they said, "Hey, come up and try out for the Canadian Pickleball League," right? So like
Yeah,
why
definitely.
not, right? Especially the amount of exposure you're gonna get. At one at 13, two coming up from the States. The amount of yeah, like I said, the amount of exposure you're gonna get up here for that is gonna be awesome. That's gonna be someone now definitely gonna be looking at for these next couple events coming up to see how well they perform.
Mm.
Because that's gonna be like an I don't want to put the pressure of like the name Anna Lee on in that form, but the fact that 13 years old already and playing in a pro league, getting drafted, right? Like that's amazing. All right,
Definitely.
here's Mike back to show us who the Rush got.
With the first pick in the 5th round, the Vancouver Rush select Kalen Sampson.
I was right. Perfect. Great pick. No, yeah, so they were confident. This is who I thought they were going to pick. Galen teamed with Armand at the Western Showdown, and they played insanely well. They pushed Chris Elaine and Brad Chapman really, really hard in that finals game in the Duper 22 category. I've actually had the opportunity to play against Kalen at Nationals. I guess it would have been 2 years ago now, back when he was still a 4.0 player. Um, and he beat me, but no, Kalen's an amazingly good player, just like Armand, very athletic, very very quick, very dynamic, and the two of them as a men's pair are very 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 strong. So that's a great pick, and that was great job by the Rush knowing that, especially with him being a West player, that that he was going to slip through the cracks like that.
Definitely. And then he's definitely have a fairly decent results at the PPA and at the in NAPP tour also. So which is very good results, and being also a younger player well, younger, sorry, he's 26, but I'm just saying
Still
he's
subs
younger.
30.
Yeah, exactly. So that will bring a very good team dynamic.
Also, a fun note, he did play in the Pickleball World Cup for Canada with Casey Rogers last year in Peru.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Didn't
so
know that.
so no stranger to the team aspect or the high stakes aspect of it. So I'm very that is a very very good pick by others. The Rush have an insanely strong men's pairing this year, and well
Definitely.
and insanely strong female pairing. Right off the hop with Christina and Anna as well. That's going to be a very interesting team to watch. Definitely made good use of that first overall pick in each round.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that for first round pick that definitely makes a difference.
Absolutely. So we got the Northern Lights up next.
So they already secured their female and male
Oh,
pairing. So
here's
will
Mike.
be
Anyways, here
interesting.
we go. We don't even have to guess.
With the second pick in the 5th round, the Northern Lights select Isabel Tang.
Great pick. Congrats, Isabel. I'm so happy for
Nice
her.
pick.
Isabel was in the qualifier last year. Was just below my wife Irene in the qualifier last year. This year played with Casey Rogers in the qualifier, and played amazing. She's just been constantly improving. She trains with Eugene all the time as
Yes.
well. Very, very strong player. Super excited. Very lovely person as well. Her and her husband and Andrew, who also shares a name with me. Very, very sweet couple as well. I can't be more ecstatic for her. If there was someone from the West qualifier that, like for example, who I was hoping got picked, it was her for sure. That's a great pickup. And great pick by the Northern Lights team.
Yeah, that will be that she'll be a great complement to all the other players already. So then definitely a good pick for them, and especially she has been training a lot with Eugene, so she definitely has a very good pickball IQ.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and just getting no and just seeing the jump of her play like from last year to this year, it's almost an unrecognizable player. Just gotten so much better. So I'm excited to see how well she does, and hopefully she can get in for a couple of games. I will that now that we're into the fifth and sixth picks, it's going to be interesting to see what teams do. Like for example, the Lions last year didn't really use their subs that much. They basically just
Hmm.
went the four the whole
And that's it.
time.
Yeah. Hmm.
Where some other teams kind of rotated, and you could see it pay dividends for some teams, but you could see it pay dividends the way the Lions did it as well, right? Because the Lions, especially the first couple of events, you'd start to see them the second day of events start to peter off a little bit, like start to get tired.
Hmm.
But obviously, in the end, they had like the second overall finish. But then you look at like the team that one of the teams last year, the Rollers last year, used their subs and got that first overall spot, right? So like because they kept some of their higher level players a little bit more fresh, or at least gave them at least one game off type of thing to come back in. And with how deep the pool is, I don't think you can really go wrong using your full array of players this year. So it's going to be interesting to see now that we're in the fifth and sixth picks and we're looking at kind of alternates and subs coming in. It's going to be interesting to see what teams are going for, whether they're going to go with like kind of that glue person or that person who's a good replacement for a specific player. Like, for example, if you have a very aggressive player like a Ryan Torrenson, do you then pick for your male substitute a very aggressive player as well? Or are you picking more of a defensive player so that way if someone goes down, you have a defensive player that can come in and complement, right?
Hmm.
So
Definitely.
it's gonna
And
be this is where some events, some teams win and lose stuff, right? So it's gonna be very very interesting to see what the teams go with.
yes, definitely. And then there's also this year being able to pick some on the west, some of
Oh,
the east that will help. Oh,
here
I'll
we go.
let
Here's Mike.
Mike go in first.
With the third pick in the fifth round, the Detroit Windsor Drive select Alexis Contrado.
Nice pick. It's another really good pick. And she was in, I want to say it was London.
That's another international player, am I right? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
another
Michigan. Out of
international.
Michigan. Okay, there you go. So the owners definitely saw them playing in other tournaments because of course with the owners of the drive being from Detroit, right? So with her being from Michigan, that's definitely a good pick. And if you pull it up,
Yes.
um, if you pull up her stuff, another really good performance,
Mm.
really good player. So yeah, so that's our fourth international now. So out of 8 teams, we got 4 international players. So we're starting to see how good of an effect bringing in international players into the league. We're getting these high level competitors coming in.
Hmm. Definitely, and especially, well, I would say the drive at being that close to to the borders is they have that geographic advantage to grab those international players that which other teams might not have, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you want to use that as your advantage as much as possible. And just based on what on the Jupiter. She has been playing a couple of tournaments in Canada too, so means she's easy to travel.
Yeah. What's the age, Vic?
She's 33.
Okay. Nice.
So a good medium number.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I call that.
No, it is. No, 33 is perfect age for it. No, because I was just curious because she actually has the same last name as one of the owners, so I'm interested to see if either like wife, relative, sister, anything like that. I'm not sure, obviously, but yeah, because Brandon Contrado is one of the owners.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, so put it this way, if relative definitely knows how good she is, because definitely have been seeing her play, right? So
Hmm.
that's the extra insight. Oh, and here's Mike back with for Toronto United.
With the 4th pick in the 5th round, Toronto United select Johnson Han.
Okay, I was expecting this person to get picked. Been playing very, very well. Seeing that name pop up a lot in Eastern tournaments, especially up in finals and stuff like that. So that does not surprise me that that Johnson got picked.
Johnson. I'm trying to.
Oh, I'm Vic. I'm wondering if it's the in my little thing here. Johnson.
Is it on the is it on my list? Maybe I
I
don't
no
see it on my list.
with the X. Look here
X.
from the U.S. Yeah, from Washington, from or Seattle. Sorry, Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I was probably
But
blanking.
but is Canadian, so Canadian living in Seattle, Washington.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's why I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I recognize the name, but there we go. There
it's
we
like
go.
when people see your name on Duper, Vic.
True. It's tough. It's tough to find me on Duper.
Yeah, because if you type in Victor Chen, you're not going to find Vic.
No.
No.
Seattle, Seattle, right?
Yeah,
Johnson Han, Xiao Han.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. Got it. Oh, interesting. And Duper is marking that he's from New York. Anyway, but
Yeah.
he's been playing in some Washington Open, so maybe he didn't change his address or something. Could
Yeah.
be.
Oh, and Mike's back already. Here we go.
With the 5th pick in the 5th round, the Prairie Pronghorns select Antoinetta Toskova.
There's another good pick and another returning player.
Mm-hmm.
Played for the Lions last year as the third female.
Yes, indeed.
So another very, very, very good player. And then playing with Kim and Jordan. That's I wouldn't be. Oh, okay. So basically, I wouldn't be surprised it gets to. There's someone for to train with Jordan or Jordan. Sorry, if they can't do a combined practice because Antoinette's from around well from the Quebec area ish.
Yeah, she's from Laval, so which is from the suburb of Montreal.
Yeah.
So just definitely close enough to drive by if the traffic is not bad sometimes.
You've been there more than I have, Vic, so you can speak to that more than I can. But
Yeah, that definitely. But no, definitely a very great pick. I think Jordan has been probably she's been actually, if not mistaken, she's the pro in the South Shore facility. So anyway, they're actually close enough to practice. That's for sure.
yeah, so that'll be it. That's then and yeah, so that's only going to make them both better being able to practice together, and then that way when they go to events, she's able to kind of, if need be, if Kim or Jordan need a break, able to come in and just fill that spot easily for them. So that's a
Definitely.
good pick by the Pronghorns there.
And especially, I feel like this year's the team also is picking also left and right from the east and west, and there'll be a better parity when the league is traveling from to the east and from the west, right? So you have like
Exactly.
some player from the east that they'll be more fresh versus the other way.
And
And
here's Mike
Mike's
for
back.
the Smash's next pick.
With the 6th pick in the 5th round, the London Smash select Stella Lee.
Oh, and I recognize that
Oh,
name too. This is the
Celebi.
problem with both of us being there. It is Toronto. Yeah, Toronto, Canada was in the London. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember seeing that name all over the place at the London event. Very, very good player.
yeah, she has been playing with Tara, um, a couple of the others too.
Oh, played with
So
Terry. Okay, there you go, right there.
yeah, she did play with Tara, and she also play with Natalie too. So
Okay, yeah. So
in
yeah, so
other
some one of those
NPA.
players who's worked their way up and already is playing with these other pro players. So definitely gonna be able to mesh right in, and the fact that all three women are within roughly the same like I know Toronto's a massive place, but all from Ontario makes it very, very easy for them to get together and do practice and stuff like that. So that's
Definitely.
a great pick by the Smash there. And the
Definitely.
nice thing
She's
is
definitely.
because the Smash also own the Smash Pickleball facility, they already have a facility to train in as well.
There you go. There
Yeah,
you
if you
go.
guys are in the Toronto area, I'm not sure exactly where in Toronto. Well, London, obviously, because it's in London.
London's
But
like
it,
east, southern east of Toronto.
yeah, so if you're in London and you want to go play pickleball, definitely go check out the Smash facility. And back is Mike with the Brewers pick.
With the 7th pick of the 5th round, returning to the Southwest Ontario Brewers, Kyle Hermetz.
Not a, another not
Not a
surprise at all.
surprise at all. Kyle played so well last year, and obviously has only been getting better. And like I said, Artie we know is a great team player. Between when him and Command were rotating in last year, depending on what the Brewers wanted to do, they both did it perfectly. You saw that there was not the ego issue with him as a pro player, like amazing player, and has only been getting better. If you just
Definitely.
I've managed to keep up a little bit with some of the events he's gone to because he's very good at keeping us informed with his posts on Instagram. So it's been
Yes, exactly. That's
he
how we
makes it very
that's how
easy
we follow them.
he makes
That's
my
how we
job very
follow them.
easy with that. So, but yeah, he's been playing amazing. So that's a great pickup. He's already used to playing with Mark. So if he does need to sub in, we already know that he can come in and do the job if need be.
Definitely, and a very steady player that we saw on the during the playoff. Very good player also. So that's great that they put to pick him back in the team. So it'll be a very easy fit in.
Absolutely, yeah. So congrats to Kyle again. That's another great pick by the Brewers. Up next, we got the Lions.
It'll be interesting. Are they gonna go for a female or a male? I have a feeling they probably go for another female because they don't really need to rush to get another male.
No, yeah,
All right, because Ernesto and Luis Charles are definitely strong enough to tank whatever's possible, right? And
yeah,
they have.
exactly, right. So it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I'm thinking because I'm gonna kind of agree with you. I'm thinking they would probably go female here, and I wouldn't be surprised if if you're seeing another local get
Mhm.
picked because they've been kind of like I know Stevie is international, but she did compete
In the Montreal, she did.
in the Montreal event. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if you if because this is what they did last year is they picked all kind of Quebec based players to
Yes.
make it easy for them to all go and train. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're sticking with that formula because of course they won last year. And speaking of which, here is Mike to let us know.
Definitely.
With the 8th pick of the 5th round, the Montreal Lions select Emma Lee.
There you go. I knew it.
I forgot that. I can't believe Emily fell this low.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
an
Like
insanely good pick. Holy
I
crap.
I Well, you know, I thought that the Montreal Lions gonna pick her before Stevie, but anyway, I think they were actually gambling that the other team that's not gonna pick her, right?
Yeah,
So
that's well, it paid off. Holy, oh man, because yeah,
well, that
that's
that but that they did play a dangerous game.
that was a
Therefore,
dangerous game they played, but it paid. Like, hey, sometimes when you bet big, sometimes you win big, I guess. But that's a
yeah,
great pickup for the Lions. Emma is an amazing player. Played for the Pronghorns last year. So yeah, holy, oh man,
well, this
I
this year, I think in all the there's quite a bit of Montreal tournaments. I think she just won it all, so she didn't lost at all in all the whatever that has the tournament in Montreal. So she's becoming a very dominant force in the female side of things.
yeah, absolutely. So that I'm gonna be very there. They got a good battle there for between those three ladies for who takes those two starting spots between Anne Sophie, Emily, and Stevie.
It's gonna be interesting
That
because
is gonna be interesting.
yeah, because
I'm excited to see what they go with that if they're
yeah, do you
changing it
want
up and they're gonna rotate.
Do you want to go for certainty or do you want to go for the explosive, right?
Yeah,
It's gonna be
that wow. We got a couple teams now where I'm like super interested of how they're gonna play this with these with the extra players here. 'Cause there's quite a few
exactly.
teams now like they're like more than they're not just four deep anymore. They're like five and possibly now that we're about to get into the final round here, possibly going to be six deep. Like you could literally take the two alternates and make a strong team.
Definitely,
So
definitely,
just
definitely.
once again showing you how deep this pool is this year of really good players.
Oh
Um,
yeah. It's not as easy
insane.
as last year. Well, already last year wasn't easy. This year is getting yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting tougher and tougher.
All right. Yeah, that's I'm super impressed here. So we got the rush up next. So they are going to be picking another male,
Male?
correct?
What they have to.
So
They
they're
have
pick
no
okay, so
choice.
we know that the rush are picking a male. So while we wait for Mike with the announcements, Northern Lights have to pick a male as well, correct?
Um, I think
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick peek. Yeah, another male also for Northern Knights. The
Okay.
drive has to go for another male too. The
Okay.
Toronto United, let's take a look.
They have to pick a
Male,
female, I
yeah,
think.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct.
And then Pronghorns
Pronghorns,
have to pick a male.
that's a male too. The Smash
Smash
has
have
to
to pick a male.
go male,
And then Brewers have to pick a female.
female, and
And
then
then the
you have
Lions are picking a
Lions
male. All right, so there's
female.
only two female spots left. The rest should all be males. That's if we're doing 3-3, which I'm assuming we are.
And there is quite a bit good males
There's a
still
lot of
left.
good players still left.
Exactly. So that therefore, it's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna
Yeah.
do.
Oh, here we
And
go.
speaking
Here's
of
Mike.
which, Mike is back.
With the first pick of the sixth round and the first team to complete their roster, the Vancouver Rush select Eric Fout.
Oh, there's a good pick
Oh,
too.
that's a good pick, definitely.
Yeah, that's a very good pick.
Eric Falk he's from Vancouver, so easy for them to practice. Let's take
Yeah,
peek.
and he played very, very well at the showdown as well. You got his duper up there, Vic?
I'm looking on it.
I'm trying to remember which group he played in. I want to say it was.
I'm getting there.
Oh
His
yes, there.
super is
Okay,
4
yeah, there we go.
4.8. His
Yeah,
super is 4.8.
yeah, but no, yeah, but still played very, very well at the event. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me. So like, yeah, that gives another. So that's everyone. All their male players are all from Lower Mainland BC. So
Mm-hmm.
that's all training partners, right? So that's perfect for the rush.
Yep, definitely. I think Mike is waiting to see the next one. So we probably still have time.
Oh yeah, there he
We
is.
got it ready.
With the second pick of the 6th round, the Northern Lights select Graham Hilliard.
Graham Hilliard.
That's another good pick.
Yes,
I see
he's
that name all the time in the I can't remember how many events I've seen that name in, like in finals or in like semifinals of like open events.
Yeah, he's been playing pretty consistently in the high sports.
There we go.
There's a so he played many times in there. Has a fairly good showing. So that would make sense. They will to stick in the Ontario region, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. So that doesn't surprise me at all that that you're getting him then, because that gives them, I'm trying to see now.
Well, Mike is already ready.
Oh, never mind. Let's go.
With the third pick of the 6th round, the Detroit Windsor Drive select Evan Holinsky.
I'm trying to look her up.
That's another great pick as well. These are now where we're getting last names that I'm recognizing from final events at different tournaments throughout. There it is. Yeah, out of Windsor, Ontario.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. And like I said, I wouldn't
got
be
it.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if these last couple of picks here, and we're already seeing it, is you're going to see players that not only are complementary, but also at least live in one of the areas as one of the main players. Because then you have training partners, right? Like Eric is in Lower Mainland DC, just like Armand and Kalen for the rush, stuff like that. So I wouldn't, yeah. So that does not surprise me that you're going to see that. So I wouldn't be surprised for Toronto United here if
Yeah, and
you see that as well.
he's a younger player. See, he's 21 years old, and he has been competing in some
Oh,
U.S. tournaments.
Speaking of
Okay.
Toronto United, here's Mike again.
With the 4th pick of the 6th round, returning to Toronto United, Carolina Hack.
All right, Carolina, there we go.
There we go. Not a surprise either. She did
No.
play well for Toronto United, and why pick go for something new if you knew
Yeah,
how this
especially when you
play
have
is
something
going,
that
right?
works. Like, and such a good teammate like last year, and like last year, like she had a couple up and downs, but was willing to have like and like there was a couple events where you saw her, she sat an extra couple of games out and gave the other women on the team reps and got them in, and just saw that. So not only is she a seasonal player, won the championship with the Toronto United the first year in the inaugural season, but also is a great team player, and is very just brings that maturity level to this team. Because when you look at this team now, a lot more younger players, a lot of that, like, yeah, Matthew Kawamoto's who you'd call your de facto captain, but definitely Carolina, they're also going to be a huge leader in the room.
Definitely. Yeah, she has been very steady at for Toronto United.
Oh,
And
and here we
speaking of
go.
which, Mike's ready, so take it away.
With the 5th pick in the 6th round, the Prairie Pronghorns select Jacob Bolkovi.
There we go.
Not
I was
surprised
wondering.
at all.
I wouldn't. I was going to be surprised if Jacob didn't get in.
Definitely. Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I will be more surprised that he's not going to be picked than getting picked. He's one of our Edmonton player, younger junior players that has been on the rise, and has been actually crushing all our old guys in Edmonton. So
Yeah.
so
I've had to play Jacob quite a bit, and it's always an insanely tough match, and always I'm normally on the losing end of it most of the time. So,
yeah,
but no,
definitely.
Jacob's an insanely good player. Just watching his progression this last year alone has been insane. So yeah, no surprise. And with him being from Alberta, very easy for him to go train with Brad and Kim. Right. So it makes sense. So it's a
Yeah.
great pick, and I don't be surprised if you see him get in for quite a few games as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's one of the we call explosive also explosive player. So therefore he will definitely, if you're not able to slow it down, he's gonna run over you very quickly. So and especially in some of the team event which there is so many matches. Put
Yeah.
in one of the match just to roll some of the games. That definitely help.
All right, and
And
going with the smash this
he's
last
back.
pick. Here's Mike.
With the sixth pick in the sixth round, the London Smash select Corey Osborne.
Oh, Corey making it back in. That's great for Corey.
Corey's
Corey was
back.
one of the most, I want to say, one of the most improved players from the first year back, and also just a wealth of knowledge. Very, very good strategic mind. Great player. Um, so yeah, that does not surprise me that Corey's back, and another great pickup, also from the Ontario area. So and has experience playing with Jessica, playing with some of the other players on the Smash. So that does not surprise me that they picked Corey up for that.
Yeah, and Corey is one of the almost we can could call him the OG of
Yeah,
pickleball in Ontario. So therefore, he has a wealth of knowledge, very strategic player. So that's definitely a great pick to complement the team.
absolutely. Yeah.
So now we're down to two last pick, and what we
Speaking
gonna
of
get?
which, right on cue, there's Mike.
With the seventh pick in the sixth round, the Southwest Ontario Brewers select Ava Callist.
All
Nice pick.
right.
That's another nice pick. Another one of those names I keep seeing in all the events.
She's another international
Yeah,
player, so
out of Pennsylvania. Yeah,
so that was,
I know when I've been looking at some of the international events, I keep seeing that name pop up. So she's been playing very, very well.
and she played a
Um,
lot actually, to be honest
yeah,
with you. So she is another young gun, 20 years old. Sorry, keep saying young guns, but because I'm old, I'm sorry.
when we're more than 10 years older, we can call them young guns.
All right, she's been playing a lot. She played almost over 250 matches log in and duper, so that's a lot.
Nice. Yeah, that's a lot, and that's showing you
And
how committed they are.
and she
So
had
yeah,
she already have a lot of experience in team event because I'm just looking at it. The first couple like major event is MLP League, so means she already knows how to play, and she plays quite a bit on the APP tour scene too.
nice. All right, so we're down to one last pick for the
It's
Lions.
gonna
And
be
should be a male. And look at that.
there we go,
Like we
great
summoned him.
timing.
There's Mike.
With the eighth and final pick of the sixth round and the final pick of the draft, the Montreal Lions select Charles Barron.
Charles Burns from Montreal, so
Yeah, just like we thought. So yeah, Montreal sticking with that, keeping it local so everyone can train together type style. And Charles, another really, really good player. I was watching. I remember seeing his name up on the thing for the showdown. And he played very well there as well. So we got our team set. This is a stacked roster for all these teams this year. I'm very interested to see. It's going to be very interesting to see the utilization of the fifth and sixth players on these teams. Because
mhm.
all the like almost every single one of these players who are like fifth and like the third female, the third male, could all be starters pretty much from what I've seen and from what I've seen them play or have played against some of them. Right.
Definitely.
So should be an insanely entertaining year. Insanely young crop, like we were saying earlier. Like the
The age
The
group
average
definitely get
age
younger.
is I'm gonna say is if not sub 30, it's 30 on the dot at this point.
Yes, definitely. We're getting old. It's too bad. We should
That's
should known pickleball earlier.
that's why we do this, right? Oh, and here's Mike back.
I just wanted to take the time to say thank you all for joining us here at the CNPL Draft for Season 3. Especially thanks to Andrew and Victor, our emergency hosts here, helping us deal with some weather and things of that nature. I want to say thanks to our sponsors, Onyx, Tyrol, and Selkirk for all of their support as we've grown here. And we're really looking forward to the 2025 season here.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for-
Mike, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
Hope you have a fun season. Thank you all.